remember the day I first told my family about my dream, my ridiculous dream of becoming a game developer. I stood there in the living room, courage swelling in my chest as I unveiled my passion for pixels and programming. But as the words left my lips, the air thickened with disdain. My father's laugh cut through the air like a knife. "A game developer? Really? You're embarrassing us. Get a real job." My mother's eyes, once filled with warmth, were now pools of disappointment. My siblings snickered, exchanging glances that said it all. I was a joke. That day, I felt the sting of rejection seep into my bones. I was the black sheep, the family disgrace, the one chasing a fantasy. I could easily have folded under the weight of their derision, but instead, something ignited within me. I decided to leave that suffocating home, to step into the world and prove them wrong. Each mocking word turned into fuel, driving me forward as I packed my meager belongings and left for the city, where dreams were either made or shattered. The first few years were a brutal awakening. I toiled in the shadows of coffee shops, sketching out game concepts on napkins, coding late into the night while my friends partied. I crashed on couches, juggled odd jobs, and faced rejection after rejection from publishers who thought my ideas were as laughable as my family had. But every time I hit rock bottom, I remembered the laughter, the disdain. I transformed that pain into perseverance. I spent countless hours learning, growing, and refining my craft. I immersed myself in the gaming community, attending every indie event I could find, networking with anyone who would listen. I poured my soul into my first game, a quirky, heartfelt adventure that reflected my struggles and dreams. And when the day came to launch, I held my breath, praying for acknowledgement, for validation. The game took off in a way I could never have imagined. It resonated with people around the world. The story of an underdog fighting against the odds. I became known not just as a developer, but as a voice for those who dared to dream. I was awarded accolades, invited to speak at conventions, and soon I found myself building a studio, surrounded by a team of like-minded dreamers. I was no longer that embarrassed child. I had become a force in the industry. But even with success, the shadows of my past lingered. I'd achieved my dreams, yet the bitterness of my family's rejection gnawed at me, a reminder of the pain I had endured. I thought about them often, about the laughter that echoed through my mind whenever I achieved something great. I wanted to show them what I had become, to confront them with the truth of my journey. After years of silence, I decided it was time to return home. My heart raced as I drove down the familiar streets, memories flooding my mind like a tidal wave, each corner a reminder of the laughter that once echoed through the walls of our family home. I parked outside the house, feeling a mix of dread and determination. Would they even recognize the person I had become? As I stepped through the front door, I was hit by a wave of nostalgia, but the air felt different. The family photos still hung on the walls, but they now felt like relics of a bygone era. My family was gathered in the living room, and I stood in the threshold, my presence a ghost from their past. "Mom, Dad," I said, my voice steady, but my heart pounding. The room fell silent. Their heads turned, and I watched as their expressions shifted from confusion to shock. The room felt charged, every second stretching into eternity. Then I did something I had rehearsed 1,000 times but never thought I would actually do. I pulled out a tablet from my bag and loaded the trailer for my latest game. As the screen flickered to life, I felt a surge of vulnerability wash over me, but it was time to show them. As the trailer played, showcasing vibrant worlds and compelling characters, I watched their faces transform. My father's brow furrowed in disbelief, while my mother's eyes widened with a mix of awe and regret. My siblings, who once mocked me, were now silent, their laughter replaced by rapt attention. When the trailer ended, I took a deep breath. This is what I've built. This is who I am. I'm not embarrassed anymore. I'm proud. The silence that followed was deafening. My father, the man who once ridiculed my dreams, finally spoke. You've done well. I never thought. His voice trailed off, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. I could see the realization dawning in their eyes. The laughter that once defined our family had shifted into something deeper, understanding, perhaps even respect. In that moment, I felt a wave of catharsis wash over me. I had not just returned, I had risen. As I left, I turned back at the door, a sense of closure enveloping me. I had confronted my past, shown them my truth, and in doing so, I had reclaimed my narrative. The journey had been painful, filled with rejection and struggle, but now I stood tall, not just for myself, but for every dreamer who dared to defy the odds.